I found peace by going out and cutting my grass or just working in my garden or going and sitting by the river. I found that calmness, that peace that I was searching for. I began to heal. And so I want to get that message out to everybody. Our community has a lot of issues, but we also have these nature spaces that are free healing spaces that really, really work, is data proven, is lived experience proven, and it really, really works.
Welcome to Healthier, Happier, Smarter, connecting with Wisconsin's outdoors through learning, stories, and communities. My name is Jaden.
And my name's Zaya.
What happens when learning moves outside the classroom?
You get healthier students, stronger communities, and deeper connections to nature.
Healthier, Happier, Smarter explores outdoor and environmental education across Wisconsin.
From schoolyards and forests to youth-led climate action and community programs. Join us as we share the stories shaping the future of learning and the outdoors. Healthier, Happier, Smarter is brought to you by the Wisconsin Association for Environmental Education in partnership with the James E. Dutton Foundation, a charitable foundation providing financial support to organizations working on projects which benefit wildlife, animal causes, environmental preservation, and outdoor education. Additional financial support comes from the Natural Resources Foundation of Wisconsin and WAEE members and donors with in-kind support from Green and Healthy Schools, Wisconsin.
Welcome to Happier, Healthier, Smarter.
Today we're joined by Timothy Scott and Julian Phifer with Urban Nature Connections. Urban Nature Connections exist to break down systematic barriers and reconnect communities with the healing power of nature. Through inclusive programming, youth engagement, and grassroots environmental restoration, this group creates equitable access to green spaces for all.
So, hi, Timothy. Hi, Julian. As you know, this podcast is based on the idea that connecting to the environment and taking learning outside that makes us happier, healthier, and smarter. So both of you can just tell us a little bit about yourselves and how your work kind of relates to our podcast.
Hi, Jaden. Well, Urban Nature Connection, our work is focused on connecting and reconnecting Black and Brown people to nature. And it really is for the health and wellness benefits of it. And we really do focus on the mental health part of it because we live in a city and a lot of us live in different places, but we live in a city that's traumatizing a lot of time with the, with the sirens, with the police chases and all kind of stuff that's going on, the gunshots and all that. So whether we know it or not, we really are traumatized. And so to have a respite, we get outside, we go for a walk in the park and I try to encourage other, my peers and others in the community to do that for the, for those benefits.
I'll second Tim. I was born and raised in Milwaukee. It's a big city, a metropolitan city, and a lot of things do happen here. A lot of trauma is here, but we have beautiful green spaces, and those green spaces should be used, and they are free. We don't have to pay for our park system or, our trail system or anything like that. So being able to get out there and get reintroduced to those healing spaces are needed. And I am a part of Tim's board. I also am with the county parks. But it's just me being from Milwaukee, wanting to stay in Milwaukee, wanting to really move in that health and wellness in my personal journey, as well as just spreading that word and trying to get people to know that Milwaukee is a safe space. And it is a space where you can raise a family and, really thrive. So that's my thing. And I'm glad that y'all have us here because we are healthy, smarter, and was it again? Healthy, smarter,
happier.
Yeah,
there we go. Like you said, we're in such a unique space, and there are so many people who live in this city who pretty much go their entire lives without really experiencing the green spaces that they do have access to. It's just so many barriers and obstacles, and it's nice to know that you guys are working on that.
Yeah, absolutely. So as a newer group, can you tell us a little bit about why Urban Nature Connections came to be, what your roles are, and what you hope for the future of Urban Nature Connections?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a really personal story, and I'm usually a really transparent guy, so I'm gonna stay that way. And and how it came to be was we went through a family crisis, and my son got involved, got caught up in the criminal injustice system, and going through, dealing with the police, dealing with courts and judges, and ultimately prison. It really messed me up. as his dad, as his father, he was not created to be in a box. That's kind of how I seen prison. I have never been locked up in prison, so I don't know what it's like on the inside, but this is what I had in my mind. And so I know messed up is not a real technical term, but I hope you understand what I'm saying. I was really messed up in my mind. I was having a lot of anxiety, panic attacks and things that I had never ever experienced before. So this was all new to me going through these things. So I ended up calling my physician, my MD, my medical doctor, and fortunately he was able to get me in right away. He asked all the right questions. He got me connected with a behavioral health specialist, with a psychiatrist, with a therapist. And it's very important, especially as Black men, that I say talking to a therapist or talking to a psychiatrist is important. It doesn't make you crazy. It makes you stronger. It makes you better. But so when I got connected with them, they tell me that finding a therapist is like finding a wife. You have to find the right one, So the one that I had wasn't necessarily the right one. Then the psychiatrist that I went to, she is great, but then she wants to give me a bunch of pills and stuff. And I really didn't want to take a whole bunch of pills. And then the medication that she gave me was giving me side effects that was worse than what I was actually trying to get healed from. So I found peace by going out and cutting my grass or just working in my garden or going and sitting by the river. I found that calmness, that peace that I was searching for. So I bumped into ecotherapy that way and I began to heal. And so I want to get that message out to everybody because we talked about being traumatized and what do we do with that trauma? So, and Julia mentioned, we got all of this green space. We have these Milwaukee County parks that we can get to by walking or by biking or by public transportation. There's a park or some kind of green space in every neighborhood within 10 minutes.
Yeah, you can
Exactly.
get there within 10 minutes. Yeah.
And where it's even quicker was when I just walked outside into in my backyard and just breathed the fresh air. And so that's what I want to get across to my community. And when I'm saying my community or Black and brown people, we don't exclude anybody, nobody, everybody is welcome. It's just that we have a focus on Black and brown community. For one, that's where I'm born and raised and lived all my life. And then we have a lot of ills. Our community has a lot of issues, poverty and crime and just I could just go on and on and on. But we also have these nature spaces that are free healing spaces that really, really work, is data proven, is lived experience proven, and it really, really works. I know that was a long way around. I hope I answered your question.
Yeah, Timothy, that story gave me goosebumps. I can imagine that a lot of other individuals have felt similar feelings when going through family issues, traumatic experiences, and aren't sure where to look, and maybe therapy and meds haven't been the answer for them. And so I love that you kind of looked to just go outside and go into your backyard and found that space as a healing space. I'd love to learn a little bit more about your role in Urban Nature Connections. What is your title, but also what do you do on a day-to-day, or how does your role look?
Well, we are a new organization, and I am the executive director and the founder. And Julian is one of our board members. We have a working board. So I don't have a salary. We have a working board that helps us to do the programming that we like to do. And through the winter, we focused on just getting outside. I call it the winter blues. When you get home at 5 o'clock or 4 o'clock and it's dark, you put your pajamas on, and by 7:30 you sleep. And then at 4 o'clock you wake up in the morning. At least that's how it was. And so it was. I don't like to use the word hate. I hate it the wintertime. Because it gets dark so early. You wake up, it's dark. You go to, when you go to work, by the time you get home, it's dark. It's just it is kind of depressing. So this winter, we wanted to do something that was going to counter that maybe by getting outside and walking, even when it's cold. I know that when I came up, and still a lot of the people that I talk to, my peers, my friends, my Black and brown folks said, man, I'm not coming out in the wintertime. That's what I hear. But so what I do is I go out in the wintertime to show folks that it's not that bad. And what's happening is I'm getting so much positive feedback. People are telling me I'm going outside because of you. I'm following you. And I asked the question that I asked always, I said, did it make you feel better? And the answer is always yes, just by getting outside. Nobody has told me I went outside and I hated it. I haven't heard that yet. And so I'm the executive director. And what we do on a day to day is right now I'm doing a lot of advocacy. So I'm advocating for green spaces on the north side of Milwaukee. I'm at the meetings for the bike lanes and the walking lanes and rails to trails and all of these things that our community a lot of time is miss out on because life has to be going on. So these meetings going on in the daytime, we need representation. And a lot of times, Julian and I are the only ones in the room, but we need to be seen. We need to be heard. Our perspective is different. And the white folks that I've been around, they embrace us. I mean, they want to see more diversity. They want to see us on the trails. We did a walk a week ago, and we were the only Black folks on the Oak Leaf Trail, right in the heart of the city. So we want to make sure that others know that we have this great, beautiful natural resource right here. You probably drive past it every day, but you got to stop and slow down. And that's what we do here at Urban Nature Connection is just get the word out. We don't have the money yet to do a whole lot of programming, but we do have a microphone. We do have an audience, and we're going to make sure that people in our sphere knows about these healing spaces. So that's what we do pretty much during the day.
I just want to circle back on when Tim said, we be the only brothers in the room. That's exactly how me and Tim got connected. I seen an older brother who's been in Milwaukee his whole life, or most of his life, who raised a family, who had trauma and figured it out. And that transparency that he has is what really connected me with him. It was like, oh, I see a lot of myself in him. I see a lot of the things that I want to do, in my future with him. So let's really connect. We had the pleasure to do a lot of walks in the parks, and as well as, bike rides. I saw that he did have this passion. He told me, hey, I'm finna go do this thing. I'm finna go do this urban connection thing for me. I want you to be a part of it. And he told me, in our meeting that God told him that I was one of the people that came out in his prayers. So after that conversation, I knew like, hey, yeah, I'm down to make sure that urban nature connection like thrives, and that we have people who are able to connect with different partners and make his dream actually like a reality. That is my role, just being on the board and being creative and being helpful any way I can.
That was so beautifully said, Julian. I can appreciate the sense of community between the two of you, and I hope that through showcasing your work today and tomorrow and throughout the entirety of Urban Nature Connections that we can continue to grow that community in Milwaukee and see everyone out on the Oak Leaf Trail and in those green spaces.
I appreciate
Yeah,
I
yeah,
do
like Zaya
appreciate that.
said.
I'm tearing up over here, inside, but I I really do appreciate what you said, that connection is there. And he made a good point. There's a gap between our generations, so I, as an older Black man, didn't have a whole lot of Black men that I could say was mentors. I'm not going to say I didn't have any, but I always wanted that older man to talk to me. So now that I'm that older man, I'm making sure that I'm talking to the Julians of the world. And when we're able to walk in the park and do that, that's kind of like heaven on earth, because he needs me and I need him. And that's how we make our community stronger.
That's so beautifully inspiring that you guys found this sense of community and connection through just something that could have been an isolating experience of you two being the only Black men in the room. I think it's such like a powerful feat of innovation. Just like you wanted to do something, so you made it happen. And it's something that's very much needed in urban communities, especially how diverse and how populated Milwaukee is with Black and brown folk. It's nice to see that conservation work or just being in the natural world is really coming to light now in Milwaukee. So I guess along those same lines, like what has been your favorite like resource or project or opportunity that's been especially meaningful to you and with Urban Nature Connections, and kind of what has been that impact?
With me, it's just seeing the board start something brand new and get in there and doing it like we've been doing, like it's been going on for years. So with that, I'm able to see like the passion and the care and the will to, get things done. Just seeing, I would say all the LinkedIn posts. That's the highlight for me when it comes to Urban Nature Connection. I'm not able to go to every event. So being able to see posts from Tim as well as our other board members and to see new faces on the camera, like not the same faces, but seeing new faces and people like, yo, I wonder how we got connected with them, how they got connected with us. So that would be my thing with Urban Nature Connection, seeing that, and also the upcoming things we do have coming is exciting me. But I'll let that come in later.
The advocacy work that we do right now is really fulfilling for me, and being that voice. Julie and I are not usually, but a lot of time the only Black men on those walks or in those spaces. But we also have a voice, so we're not quiet Black men. So we do talk, and we talk about our experience, and we talk about things that we need to be talking about that other folks may misunderstand about us. And that's why it's important for us to be in these nature spaces. That's why it's important for us to be in these green conversations, whether green infrastructure, whether it's water, parks, or whatever. It's important for us to be in those spaces and in those places and open our mouth, because sometimes we could be in a place, in the space, and nobody even knows that we're there. But my life mission is to make sure that others are connected, and younger people like Julian, I'm passing the torch to him so that he can take it and run with it. But I've gotten over all these decades that I've been around, I've gotten a lot of wisdom and experience. I'm not going to take that to my grave. I'm going to make sure that the Julians of the world have that so that they can keep moving this city forward. I have grandchildren, and I have a son that have decided to stay here. So my other children have moved away, but they are here. And I want to make sure that this city is best that I can do is best for them. So to answer that question, that the thing that what makes me happier and healthier is by seeing other people happy and healthy and being able to get connected to something that's free, that's not going to be a burden. And so one of the best things that is happening to me right now is people is walking up to me and said, I'm getting outside and walking because of you. I got a rusty, dusty bike in the basement. I'm getting it fixed this summer, and I'm going to ride it because I'm watching, like Julian said, I'm watching your post. And I wouldn't consider myself a poster, but this is a word that we need to be getting out,
A poster.
so. You know what
An influencer.
It's influencer, creator, or whatever. Yeah. See, that's why I need the young people on my team,
I love that you guys brought up LinkedIn. I do get a lot of notifications from Julian reposting stuff, and it really does work. These connections, they're staying connected, whether you're a poster or an influencer. It definitely does work to get the word out there.
Yeah.
Absolutely. In a year from now, or in 5 years from now, what do you see Urban Nature Connection looking like, being involved in? What does that ideal future look like for you two?
Well, for me, it would be, I'm the chairman of the board right now. So I want to be off the board and be the executive director, preparing the next executive director. So in the next year, I want these young people to step up in leadership on the board. That's important that they get that experience, because we need to be in these rooms and in the board rooms too. So that's important to me in the next year, to see my board solid and moving in the right direction and taking full leadership. And we also must get into the schools, some kind of education with young people. That is a must. People are talking to me constantly, and we are a baby organization with no money. So right now, we can only do what we can do with the capacity that we have. But in the next year, as we grow and the funding starts to come in, I'm believing that's going to happen. I believe we have a product that sells. This is something that people want. So I do believe that we're going to get some funding in the next year or so, and that will get us into some kind of educational spaces. And in 5 years, I would want somebody else to be running the organization and me chilling in my backyard. That's the goal.
The dream.
That's the dream. Yeah. So it's all about passing the torch, really. So that's how I see us in the next 5 years.
All right. So in the next year, like I want to second Tim. I would love to see the board grow, as well as, instead of it being a working board, we actually have employees. I would love for us to be able to get into those schools. We want to connect with the people that are coming after us. So you want to connect
Right.
to those youth when it comes to just, wellness and healing and nature, but beyond that, so they can see like, oh, I can actually be in this playful space and, make money or, make a career out of my life and everything like that, or enjoy Milwaukee, like not think that it's just a trashy spot. So, I would love for us to really get into those schools and spread this message and build that volunteer group and build those members who want to be out there and explore. That's my thing when it comes to Urban Nature Connection. I want people to be more explorers. I feel like exploring has went away a lot. We usually just explore through this portal.
Right.
Good point.
So I feel like, we have a whole world that you can explore, get out there and learn about yourself while you're while you outside and things like
Right.
that. So I would love people to become more explorers. We're getting away from that. So maybe we need, the posters and the influencers to get in the room and like really get those people to be like, hey, explore. You get connections. With Tim just, posting everything. Like you say, he get people in the street to talk to him like, hey, I'm gonna dust off my bike and get out there because I see you doing it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's what people need. They need to see somebody that look like them that has went through some of the same things that they've been through
Yeah.
doing it.
Mhm.
Because usually when we see influencers, they don't look like us. They don't sound like us. So, and then with Tim being just very transparent, hey, like you said, it's a program that it sells itself. It's nature. It's healing. So I really see Urban Nature Connection growing way beyond what Tim sees this year or next year. He might reach that 5-year goal sooner than he thinks.
Yeah, and I love
Yeah.
that optimism. Yeah, I do. And you got the energy. See, that's the thing. I'm starting to slow down, but you got the energy. That's what I want to make sure that we combine the wisdom and experience with the energy and the education and all of those different things that our young people bring to the table. So it's definitely not about me. It's about our community becoming whole and healed and happier.
I really like how you guys mentioned education being such a large focus in your future. I also grew up in Milwaukee and lived through MPS, and I never really got those opportunities to be outside as a lot of my other conservation major friends at UWM. So I had like a less traditional upbringing to get to this field, but I think you guys have a lot of potential in Milwaukee to get more kids and more community members out into nature. Because I think they always want to, but there's always that little scared emotion to take that first step.
Yeah.
So, if people want to help Urban Nature Connections grow, how could people get involved or learn more about you guys?
The absolute best way is to go through our website. We have to contact us on there, and then we have that all important donate button on there. So the website, and follow us on Facebook and Instagram and LinkedIn, because that's easier for us to get it out right away.
I would say LinkedIn. As Tim said, you can go on the website, Urban Nature Connection. But if you're on LinkedIn and you see a post and you see me post, like it, share it, repost it, comment. I'm not big on social media, but LinkedIn is my jam. Just to keep it smooth, low key, get the information out there that need to be out there, not too much. So I always say LinkedIn, but besides, going on LinkedIn or going on Instagram or Facebook, that website for sure.
Quick plug to you guys were talking a little bit about education and wanting to work with students in the MPS schools. And this summer, up and coming on August 7th, there will be the Green and Healthy Schools Milwaukee Conference at the Moore School for Gifted and Talented in Milwaukee. And it is a huge event drawing upwards of 500 people, educators, students, community members to talk about green and healthy initiatives, but also the power of the environment and how we can get more environmental education to our students. So I would recommend you guys be there because you guys are absolutely amazing. And I know other students would love to hear from you. So I can definitely send you more info after this.
Absolutely. We'd love to be there to share more about what we're doing, because, the beauty of what we do, we don't have to be there for you to do it. We're showing people get outside and take a walk, get outside and get on your bike. If you want to come join us, we're here for you, but you can do this on your own also.
Absolutely. So in the last few minutes here, is there anything else that you want to highlight or just things that you're looking forward to?
Sure, real quick, I just want to thank some people that gave us some money. The Greater Milwaukee Foundation gave us a grant, and Herb Cole Foundation gave us a grant to keep us moving along here. So I just want to make sure that we're thanking them. And then our partners like Julian at the Milwaukee County Park and the Milwaukee Rec and Victory Garden Initiative. So we are in our gardening phase right now where we're starting to grow plants on the inside. And then we're going to be working with Victory Garden Initiative to help people get raised beds gardens into their yards. So that's what our big focus is, right? That's coming up right now. And then we're going to be doing the soul rolls. We have some biking events, but we're going to participate in the soul rolls, which I believe is led by Northwest Side CDC.
Red, black, and green.
Red, black, and green. Okay, yeah. So we're going to be riding with them. So those things are happening. They're coming up this summer. It's coming up fast. So we got our hands in the dirt right now, planting in the inside.
I'm excited about it. A tree planting, like Tim just said, putting our hands in the dirt. A couple, 2 walks ago was at King Park, and now we'll be back May 2nd to plant about 10 trees, and we'll be working with Fathers Making Progress. That's another partner that we work with. Get those trees in the ground, and that'll be more promotion and more LinkedIn videos and more posting.
Yeah, all of that.
So I'm excited for that. And I'm just excited to just keep on growing Urban Nature Connection.
Yep, me too.
Absolutely. Well, thank you both so much for your time today. Thank you, Tim and Julian, for joining us and talking about Urban Nature Connections. Your efforts and leadership are a powerful reminder of how environmental education and community action can create positive change in our local communities. For all of our viewers, be sure to like, subscribe, and drop a tree emoji in the comments if you're feeling energized about environmental education. And until next time, we hope to stay connected to our communities. Hope you guys stay curious about the world around you and inspire others to make a difference. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
If you enjoyed this episode of Healthier, Happier, Smarter, please take a moment to follow the podcast and leave us a rating or review. It helps more people discover the show and enjoy the conversation about connecting health, learning, and the natural world. You can also stay connected with the Wisconsin Association for Environmental Education at waee.org, or find us on social media for resources, upcoming events, or more stories from educators and community leaders across Wisconsin. Thanks for listening, and until next time, keep exploring, connecting, and learning.